everyone, my name is Morgan. I work here at Hickory Knolls Discovery Center in St. Charles. So I heard that you guys are talking about endangered animals in your class. And we have some endangered animals actually here at the Nature Center. One of which is our Blandings turtles, like number 92 here. So Blandings turtles are native to the northeastern part of the US. Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, and even up into Canada. And Blandings turtles are actually endangered in most of the areas that they live in. As you guys probably know already, endangered means that there's not very many of them left. They're in danger of becoming extinct or completely dying out. Our Blandings turtles here are part of a special program. The eggs that the female Blandings lay are collected. They're hatched and raised for a few years before being re-released in the hopes that this will help them survive and thrive as a species and hopefully one day not be endangered anymore. So one of the reasons why Blandings might be endangered is related to their habitat. These guys and girls, these turtles spend most of their time in the water in wetland areas. So places like ponds and streams, lakes even, with nice clear water that has lots of vegetation and insects and other things for them to eat. But they also like to roam around a lot, especially for female Blandings, like all of our Blandings here. They will leave the water, go up onto land to lay their eggs. And they can travel up to even a mile or two away from their ponds and their rivers to lay their eggs. Now, back before humans were around, this wasn't really an issue. But what do we have now that may cause problems if the Blandings want to leave their ponds and travel a long way? Cars. So now we have a lot of roads that cross between the ponds and the dry areas where they lay their eggs. And so if the Blandings are traveling this way and they end up on the road, unfortunately, they might get hurt. They might get run over by the cars. Also, you have things that might try and eat them, especially the babies. So once the babies hatch from their nest, their eggs in their nest, and they try and go back to the water, there's a lot of animals, a lot of predators that might want to eat them. Things like raccoons or birds, sometimes even our pet animals like dogs. They might eat them too. But if Blandings, the babies, can make it all the way back to the water and survive to become adults, they can actually live for a really long time. In 2016, researchers were able to track down a Blandings turtle that they think was over 80 years old. And they think that she even still had eggs in her, even though she was 80. However, living a long time can also be part of the reason why they're endangered. Not only do they live a long time, but they also take a long time to be able to lay eggs. Blandings, again, like her, they have to be at least 18 to 20 years old before they can lay eggs. In contrast, you have snapping turtles. They can lay eggs at 10 years old. And painted turtles, like one that I'll show you in a little bit, they can lay eggs as young as 4 years old. So having to wait until they're 18 to 20 years old to lay eggs is probably another reason why Blandings are endangered, because it takes so long for them to grow up. All right, so like I was just saying just a second ago, this is Picta, our painted turtle. She can lay eggs at about 4 years old. Now, aquatic turtles like Picta and Blandings and many other turtles are omnivores. That means that they eat both plants and animals. So aquatic turtles will eat aquatic vegetation, plants that live in the water, maybe berries that fall off trees. They might also eat crustaceans like crayfish or little tiny fish that live in the water, or they especially like to eat worms. Our turtles love worms. Painted turtles are named that because they have these paint lines on their sides. You can see on her neck, they have yellow and red markings, both on their necks and a little bit on their shells as well. So blandings don't have any of those markings, but instead they have kind of a smiley face almost. I kind of think that they look like the Joker from Batman, personally. You can see here on number 2, she has a real smiley face. They also have really long necks that they use to grab food. And because they're aquatic turtles and live in the water, they have webbed feet. But these guys also have long nails. And they can dig in the dirt, both in their ponds and on ground when they go to lay their eggs. So then there were a few more questions that you guys had that we're going to answer now. So the first question was, is global warming causing animals to become endangered? And that's a complicated question. For some animals, it can contribute to it. For instance, there are animals like polar bears that live where it's cold. And climate change and global warming can decrease their habitat. Less habitat for them means that they are in trouble. But there are other animals that might actually be doing better. For instance, maybe a desert species that already lives in warm, dry areas might have more land to live in due to global warming. Either way, though, global warming is causing stress to animals, and stress can affect them in bad ways. So, long answer short, yes. And then the second question that we have at the end here is, how do we help endangered animals? Easiest thing for us to do is just to raise awareness. Talk about them. Say to your parents, hey, I learned about Blandings turtles today. Did you know they're endangered? Or research an animal that lives away from here and say, this animal over there is endangered. But that seems kind of too easy sometimes. One thing that you can do specifically to help animals, endangered or not, is to stop littering and to stop others from littering. If you go on a hike or a picnic, make sure you take out everything that you brought in with you. Even something like a reusable water bottle that isn't trash might become litter if you don't take it with you and leave it behind somewhere it's not supposed to be. So really, that's the best way that you can help all kinds of animals, even us humans, is by not littering. So I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys had fun. Bye.